Cadillac, as far as I'm concerned, is America's most luxurious brand, and in my opinion, still able to compete with the likes of Rolls-Royce, Bentley, and other prestigious manufacturers, at least with their highest spec cars. Now, Cadillac has built a lot of weird rides over the years, from the weird fastback looking Seville to the V-Series monsters that sound like NASCAR stock cars in a tuxedo. None, and I mean none, are quite as bizarre as the Cadillac Escalade Hybrid. Not because it looks incredibly weird or anything, but because I can't fathom how it made it out of the development room. The concept itself is flawed from the get-go. A large SUV designed to save gas, a 6,000-pound chrome tank with a two-mode hybrid system, and a V8 connected to a CVT, a green Escalade during the worst financial meltdown since the Great Depression. This thing is basically a contradiction on wheels. It's what happens when your gas-guzzling Flexmobile, like everybody else, starts having an identity crisis mid-recession. So today, we're taking a deep dive into Cadillac's strangest idea ever, and why the Escalade Hybrid is a forgotten gem, a punchline, and maybe a little bit ahead of its time. To understand how we got here, let's set the scene. In the mid-2000s, Cadillac is basking in the glow of the Escalade boom. Rappers are shouting it out in every single verse. Pro athletes are buying them in triplicate. It's not just a car, it's a status symbol. Meanwhile, gas prices are climbing. Fast. 2008 hits, and suddenly, fuel economy is sexy again. The Prius becomes a flex in LA. People are trading their Hummers and Escalades for Civics and Priuses, and GM is losing billions. Cadillac, desperate to join the hybrid market, says, "We need to look responsible, but still stay fly." And that's when they come up with the $73,000 3-ton SUV that, through dollar store witchcraft and wizardry, gets 20 miles to the gallon. Under the hood, the Escalade Hybrid was a mechanical fever dream. It had the same 6.0-liter V8 making 332 horsepower, the same LFA series engine found in GM's big trucks, but it was bolted to GM's two-mode hybrid system. It had a pair of electric motors built into the transmission, a 300-volt battery pack under the rear seat, and an electronically controlled continuously variable transmission. Yes, they had a CVT bolted to a V8. That could either behave like a 4-speed or an 8-speed depending on the driving mode. The goal? Let the SUV drive around town in electric power at low speeds, then switch to full gas electric mode when things really got serious. In theory, it worked. The Escalade Hybrid got 20 miles per gallon city, which was 50% better than regular Escalades, and 23 miles per gallon highway, which was, well, actually decent. But let's not pretend this is a Prius. You weren't hypermiling, you were lugging around a two-mode hybrid system and 6,000 pounds of chrome, leather, and ego. Slide inside the hybrid Escalade and you'll find yourself in peak 2000s luxury. Heated and cooled seats, analog clock for class, a navigation system with a user interface that aged worse than MySpace, optional rear seat DVD system with 2 screens, we're talking real luxury, and 3 rows of plush leather seats, and like 0 usable cargo space if all the rear rows were up. But the real gem, the eco meter. The eco meter would try to coach you into driving like a responsible citizen. The irony, if you did listen to it, you'd get passed by minivans. If you ignored it, you'd hear the electric motors cry for help and your fuel economy go down. And of course, just in case you or other people forgot that you were saving the planet, the word hybrid was slapped in shiny chrome across both front fenders, the tailgate, the dash, floor mats, and printed in bold letters across the doors. Real subtle, Cadillac. So, who is this thing for? Honestly, a very specific demographic. People who have Escalade money, but started to feel guilty about it. Celebrities who wanted to appear more eco-conscious without actually giving up any luxury. And buyers in states like California where hybrid incentives and green image points actually mattered. It also helped that the Escalade Hybrid qualified for a $2,200 federal tax credit, plus state incentives like New York and Colorado. So you could flex on a bargain. But make no mistake, this wasn't about real savings. Yes, you'd save about $600 a year on gas, but you paid about $8,000 more than the base gas model. The math was about as good as Cadillac's badge placement. Here's where things get painful. Nobody bought this thing. In its best year, the Escalade Hybrid sold 6,000 units. Total. Compare that to the regular Escalade, which sold over 35,000 units the same year. And by 2013, Cadillac realized something. The people who buy Escalades don't care about gas mileage, and the people who care about gas mileage don't buy Escalades. So with no announcement, no fanfare, and definitely no farewell, the Escalade Hybrid was axed. It left behind no legacy, an EV version that I'll have to cover soon, and confused Craigslist listings, and one really strange footnote in GM's history. Looking back, the Escalade was kind of ahead of its time. Today we have plug-in hybrid Range Rovers, hybrid Bentleys, and even electric Rolls Royces. Big luxury brands are all going electric, even Cadillac. But back in 2008, Cadillac was actually one of the first to do it. Sure, it was clunky, sure, it didn't really save the planet, but at least they tried. And honestly, they tried it on one of their most outrageous cars in their lineup. And that takes guts, regulations, and desperation. The 2008 to 2013 Cadillac Escalade Hybrid is one of the weirdest luxury cars ever made. It was a green badge on a gas guzzler, a truck with EV envy, and a car that tried to balance image, excess, and economy, and somehow satisfied nobody. But what made it fascinating, because it was in the middle of a financial chaos, Cadillac tried to evolve and actually made something nobody asked for, no one remembers, and nobody knows how to repair. Shout out to the Escalade Hybrid. It said, "I care about gas mileage, but only when I'm idling at valet." Drop a like if you enjoyed this deep dive into Cadillac confusion, subscribe for more weird car history, and let me know in the comments, was the Escalade dumb, genius, or both?